Okay, been asked this morning about why does Chaitanya, I think he said Chaitanya, why does he have people cling to Krishna instead of going to Advaita? Well, I can tell you it's simple because to get to Advaita, moksha, liberation is not easy. Okay? It's simply not easy. To cling to Krishna and play is easy. Okay? You don't have to give up the persona. You don't have to die. Okay? To get to realization, you die. It's that simple. Okay? And then one becomes that. You know, when Krishna was speaking to his long-term devotee, Uddhava, okay, he's telling him, and remember he was telling in the Bhagavad Gita, he's telling them, I remember all my lives and you don't remember yours. And so he's trying to teach them. He's trying to teach them. But again, all of it comes down to that Parabrahman, which is the center of your being. Okay? So what you lose in going towards Advaita or Hamsa, to become a Hamsa, okay, the swan, the liberated one, okay. What you lose is that sense of I am something separate. I am something unique. I am. Okay, that goes. And it's like Prabhupada was saying. That's why I was saying, I was there. I heard Prabhupada say these things. Okay. And it was always a bit, that's one thing that stuck with me when I left. I was there for a short time. Prabhupada was a stepping stone in my path. Okay. And in fact, it was Prabhupada that said I would reach realization in this lifetime. Prabhupada knew. Okay. I was sitting there, and then this is it was when he was at the LA temple. Now, I've been to the San Francisco. I lived at the San Francisco temple. I visited the LA temple when Prabhupada was there, and I was in the Hawaii temple. I visited there as well as in India. I also went down to visit while I was there. But yeah, I was in Los Angeles. I never took my vows there, but I was standing there and I was making the things for the mala. I was making for the deities, and he saw me standing there. Okay. And Prabhupada didn't speak with a lot of people, especially not ones that were not initiates. But he saw me stand. He's going, come with me. So I followed him, and everybody's looking at me like, where is she? Why is Prabhupada talking with her? Okay. So he had me come up to his room where he was at and put the flowers on his deities, which I did, and he said, you're going to reach realization in this lifetime. Okay. And I think he told me because he knew I wasn't going to stay there. Okay. So I think he said that to help to spur me on, on the journey. Okay. But again, I was there when Prabhupada said, men can only be attached to something now. So let them be attached to Krishna. Let them be attached to a form. Okay? So I thought if it, again, that always stuck with me that he said that. And he never really taught the last part. He taught only the part about being attached to Krishna. He did not teach the last part of what Krishna was telling his long-time devotee Uddhava before he left to go to Krishna Lok. Okay? So again, he understood that to get to realization, most people, I have people all the time tell me, Swamiji, I want to get to realization. Okay? So I give them the path. Then when things start getting hard, it's all fun and games when their first bloom is that God consciousness, okay? God consciousness, where the heart expands and blooms. And at that point, I was into Krishna. So everything I saw was Krishna. Every person was Krishna. Every animal was Krishna. Every tree was Krishna. And it's very blissful. And people want to think that they've completed when they get to that point, but you haven't even hardly begun. Okay? That's the starting point is God consciousness. To get to self-realization, it's much further than God consciousness, being aware of God in all things. Okay? Be attached to a physical form. Okay. So yeah, I remember the time of just, you're bumping around and you're giddy and everything is expanded and it's all love and it's all, and it can be very intoxicating. Well, Prabhupada knew this, and he knows it's so much easier to get to God consciousness and attachment to Krishna than it is to go the whole of the way and to surrender into that grand is, the great 0 point balance that, some people want to call it the void, but it's not void. It's pregnant with everything that will ever come into being. Okay? People want the Shakti. They want the manifestation. They want the Advaita. Okay? I want something I can touch, feel, navigate, hang on to. Well, in Advaita, all of that deconstructs. This idea that I am a separate person with this personality, this deconstructs. Okay? You go through that death. Okay? People think when I talk about this that it's some sort of a ideation that one gets. You can rationalize your way there. No, it's an absolute thing that takes place. Okay? You go through that death and you have to lay down your life by yourself. You have to surrender into God and you have to want to know the truth more than you fear. Because everything, all of your fears, all of the drama is going to come up in your face full bore. Okay? And it will manifest outwardly. That's why they say the path of Kundalini can lead to madness and death. Yeah, it leads to death, all right. Which is liberation. That's what I say, and it could be a mind bender because when everything deconstructs and the only thing that is there is that grand is, Parabrahman, whatever you want, name, term you want to put on it, and you deconstruct, and that's the only thing that has reality. And this is why, Krishna was also saying, because he was there, he was Advaita, he was within that, okay? So he's trying to explain Because when everything deconstructs, there's no me. There's simply awareness of that grand is. I have never been born. I have never died. I am this grand eternal is. And when I'm saying I am, I don't mean persona. There is no illusion of an attachment to a form. You know that that was the suffering, the attachment to form. The attachment to form creates the mental drama of mind. Mind creates Advaita, divisionary experience. Okay? Consciousness is what we are. We are that divine consciousness. Consciousness is aware of mind. Consciousness is not the mind. Okay? That's why when everything blows out, one goes into Turiya Theta. The mind is still. There's no more running thoughts. There's no more of hearing any of that hamster wheel of drama that Advaita likes to espouse. Okay. So again, this is why Prabhupada was saying, let them be attached to Krishna, because they cannot go the whole of the way. Most people are not ready for that. You have to lose your life to actually find it. And again, I have people that say, oh, I want realization more than anything. Oh, yeah. And then they come up to that bridge and they're, no, I'm going to die. What did I tell you? How many times have I said that? Well, I thought you were just, no, I say what I mean. I mean what I say. 100%. Do not start this path of Kundalini. Okay? If you are not ready to face all your fears and not ready to lay down your life, okay, to find truth. You have to want truth more than you want this illusionary play. Okay, you have to want it more than that. When everything deconstructs and realization first takes place, coming out of it, you have to learn again to speak. You can't say I so easily anymore because it's not part of the reality for you. Okay? None of this divisionary language can really adequately explain what it is to be in that consciousness. Okay? It's very different. Okay. It's like people will ask me all the time, well, aren't you excited about this? Aren't you excited? No. There is no getting excited about. There no anticipation. There is none of that any longer. There's nobody here to have anticipation, and it is not something that's in the reality yet. Okay? There are no more of the dreams. The dreamer is no longer there. Okay? It's a totally different space of reality. And everything becomes clear in a moment when everything deconstructs. That's like all the gods and goddesses are basically different energies, okay, that play out in the world. Okay. Krishna is that divine love energy that plays out in the world. Okay. Kali is that Kundalini. If you understand Kali and what she's there to do, you read the Chandipat, she's there to fight the illusion, the great demon of ego, to cut its head, to take one to realization. And why is she so frightening? Because you have to face your fears. Okay? You have to face the fears. Okay. It's very, it's very clear, very easy to see how all these things fit together. But when you're in the divisionary mind, you want to keep everything separate. And this is higher, this is lower, this is this, no, okay. So you get in a lot of confusion. A lot of confusion happens. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to leave this here. Again, like I said, Prabhupada got people attached to Krishna because he understood the mindset of mankind, that really, for the most part, people are not willing and ready to let go of their lives, okay? They want to make it better. They want to make it more fun. They want to make it more in control, okay? Their ego is too strong. They will not, they want to continue to solidify ego and make it grow, make it paramount, They don't want to dissolve. They don't want to, go through that death. Although you look at the people that have had a near-death experience and they get a taste of what that great divine is, they get a momentary taste. In realization, there's no momentary taste and you go back into this, it remains. Okay, the reality of that remains. It's paramount. There's no more illusion. Okay, as to death, there is no more suffering because there's no mind play. Doesn't mean you're not going to have pain. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get, like Ramana, you had cancer. So many of them died of the gurus and realized masters died of cancer and things. The body is subject to the laws of Advaita. Okay, it's like a car. Parts wear out. Okay, this is a medium for experiencing in this plane of existence. Okay, but we are not this form. Okay, you're not this form. Okay, you are that which is conscious, which can program the brain, which then in turn programs the form. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Hopefully you're not more confused. People come to here all the time and they're so much in judgment. Well, you don't look like, and you don't, well, what's it supposed to look like? Okay. Realization is of the consciousness, has nothing to do with what the form looks like. Okay? It's not form specific. It's not male or female. Okay? And when you're done with the games, you're done with the games. Okay? There's no longer any need to be wearing robes and to have this. It's fine. I'm not saying there's something wrong with being a sannyas or a sadhvi or, wearing robes, whatever. It helps to keep your attention to the path. Okay, it helps to keep you going forward. But when you've crossed that bridge, you're going to drag the bridge with you? It's no longer needed. So what remains? Just to go out and, like Krishna, have the Leela. Krishna was trying to show in liberation there is Leela. There is the play. People say, why are you doing tarot cards? Because it's play. Okay? It's not something clung to. Like I said, we'll see if they're right or wrong. Okay. I think one of the main things I see, though, is people always get so wound up. And so this is another reason I do it, to try to back people out of getting so wound up on these things. Don't manufacture something that's not there. People want to get into conspiracy theories and this dark drama. For why? Why are you borrowing trouble? Okay. Deal with what's actually here. Yeah, there are a lot of things that need to be cleared up, that need to be handled. But deal with what is here. Don't need to manufacture something else. So I'm going to leave this here. Have a great day. See you online. Aho.